welcome back to Tarot and Chill. My name's Nisha, and this is a pick a card reading to find out about your next new job. I've got 3 groups for you to choose from today. Group 1 is the Amethyst. Group 2 is the clear Quartz. And Group 3 is the red Jasper. Please pause the video now if you need to take a moment to make your choice. Otherwise, I'll see you in your reading. All the timestamps will be below. You can also find details of my personal readings if you're interested in booking with me. There's a discount on yearly forecasts until the end of the year, so please feel welcome to get in touch if you'd like one. It's going to be 10% off. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in your reading. This reading is for you who chose the Amethyst. Let's see what cards you have. From the astrology reading cards, you have the 11th house, where the cosmos grants wishes, luck, friends, and social occasions. From the sacred spirit reading cards, you have align your universe, navigate distractions. From the sacred power reading cards, you have sound. From the urban tarot, you have the 8 of pentacles, prudence. The 5 of swords, defeat. And the ace of swords. And then from the ancestral path tarot, you have the 5 of water, loss. And the 10 of air, negative thinking. I feel like you may work in a bar or somewhere that's maybe like nearby a bar, or it might be nighttime hours, like when everyone's clubbing or something. You might be, I'm hearing for someone you might be doing something like money counting in a bank, but it's after hours, it's like at night time. And maybe next door is somewhere where people are drinking or something like that. So you might find when you're leaving work in the morning, there's like rats on the street and people kind of hanging out still. And maybe drunk people or people on their way home. And for some of you might be in the area with the drunk people on their way home, like at a bar. I do feel like some of you are going to be working at a bar or doing something to do with hospitality. Maybe at a nightclub or other venue where they play music and where you find people to be friends with. I do feel like you're going to make some friends at your job, and it might be a lot of friends. I feel like there's going to be a whole crew of you who are working at the same place. So you have lots of colleagues who have the same, I want to say the same feelings about the job, because you all hate the job. You're all going to absolutely hate it. You're all going to hate working there, but you also just get on with your work. Like, you might not actually mind the work itself, the actual tasks that you're allowed to do. But I feel like there's some community misery that you all experience, like you and all your co-workers. Like, God, we have to do overtime all of a sudden. Like, we thought we were fine, we thought we were going to leave, and now we have to do overtime. Or, hey, this customer's being really annoying. It's like, actually, you don't mind your job, but you all have the same frustrations that you maybe need to air daily. I feel like there might be like daily community chat between you and your co-workers about how annoying and miserable it is at the job, and about this problem and this problem and this you've got to do and that you've got to do. So I'm seeing you making friends, and I'm seeing you being able to reach out to others if you're having problems. I feel like you're going to be able to communicate with your manager about your problems and be able to communicate with your colleagues. And I feel like there's like maybe security if you work at a bar or something. The security guards will be your friends, and they'll help you, and they'll come over if there's a problem or something like that. Like, there'll be people who can help you. But I also do feel like you're going to have to just get on with your work, and you need to be able to learn on the job and know what you're doing. And I feel like you're going to be really stressed at some time and just hate the job so much, and maybe regret staying there for too long. I also feel like you may regret not choosing a different job. Or you may sometimes regret staying up too late if you have to get up early in the morning. Or you may regret the fact that you've got a night job or something like that. I also feel like someone may have to do multiple jobs. You might have one job where you're an accountant, and then also you work in a bar. And then also maybe you're trying to do something like study, and you find it all just a bit much and you feel really tired. I also don't know if someone's going to be working in a casino, dealing cards or something like that, and you have to be very alert. You have to count people's money maybe. I am seeing counting money coming through, so that could be retail even, or like hospitality. It also could be gambling and counting chips to give to people, or accountancy, doing like account reconciliations or cash reconciliations. Maybe for someone working in a bank or something like that, like depositing people's money with allowing people to withdraw their money. depositing it to them from the bank. And I feel like you're going to maybe find this job is a downgrade. Somebody, like, you might be finding that you do a few different jobs and your hourly rate is less than it used to be and you have to work more hours than you used to. Or it's like the nighttime hours or something you don't like and you used to work in the daytime. Or something like that. It's coming through that you don't like the hours, or it's at night, or it's really, really, really early in the morning when it's still dark. You have to get up out of bed and you didn't used to. And I'm seeing it's a good job for you to do because you learn some new skills and you meet some new people. And you are aligned with this job. You're meant to be doing this job. But for someone else, there may be something else you work on or something else you want to do that's not this job and it's better for you, but you find you can't do it because you're doing this job. And I do feel like there's some moanings. There's like some depressing moaning conversation that will happen about this job. Like, God, I hate this job so much. I just keep seeing that coming through, like you're going to not like this job. So try not to pick something that you won't like if you don't think you'd like working in a club or a casino or something like that. Try not to pick it, but I also do feel like it's just destiny for you and it might take you somewhere else. It might be like a stepping stone job. And I do feel like whatever job it is, there's a path that takes you to a promotion or a better job. It's like it may be just a stepping stone kind of thing. And if you can find the way forward that's better than what this job is, I think it will be good for you. And I think you will manage to find it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Please come for a personal if you can afford one and you like it. I also feel like some of you are musicians, but you might have to take a day job and you might have to do something besides music, or you might feel like music is your job, but you feel depressed and negative about it. And you may find that there's some communication about it and some opportunity to do it, but also like there's other things to do and you might feel really tired. It's coming through like a tired musician and you have loads of great ideas. It's still your job, but I feel like there's other things that you might be focused on. Like maybe just your money or something like that. And I feel like a financial reward is maybe not coming as much as it would come. If you focused on something else, there might be something to focus on, but it might seem a bit risky. Maybe like a gamble. Please come for a reading if you can afford it, because I feel like your reading will be quite personal. I'm also doing a discount on yearly forecasts until the end of the year. If you can afford it, it'll be 10% off. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated for you. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And check out the other content on my channel if you're interested. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. This reading is for you if you chose the clear quartz. Let's see what cards you have. From the Sacred Spirit reading cards, you have Birth of Creation, Potential Growth. From the astrology reading cards, you have the third house, your potential to learn something, and your local neighborhood. From the Sacred Power reading cards, you have Lightning. From the Urban Tarot, you have the Eon. And the Hermit. And then from the Vision Quest Tarot, you have Mother of Air. And Seven of Water. It feels like you're going to be doing something very new to you. You maybe need to do some research and learn more about this subject for you to get really good at it. And I feel like you may already be studying and learning this topic. You may have previously studied before and want to go back to working in this area. And I do feel like you may have to do some sort of test or exam to prove you know enough to do this job. Or the job might pay for studying, it might support you with your studies and pay for you to do something at college or pay for some sort of exam certification or something like that. Or you might have to do something to get a license or renew your license or something like that. Something's coming through about renewing a membership or something. I feel like you may work from home a lot of hours. You may get to do a lot of things independently without anyone else around you. You may find you have communication with colleagues, but it's not very direct. It's kind of emails or phone calls, and maybe not too many. I'm seeing you might find you work too many hours, though. Even if you're at home, you may find that it takes you too long to do things. You may find that you feel like you're wasting your time sometimes with things that you're doing. Like I feel like the processes might be clumsy, or the computer system's slow and clumsy. You might just find yourself like staring off into the distance and feeling really bored sometimes. I feel like you may not have enough work to do, and you may just want to sit and do other work, or you may find that you're allowed to study or something. You're just allowed to sit and read, which for me sounds really good, but maybe for some people you might find it boring. Maybe you get tempted to leave and go on holiday or shopping trips, or like leave the house and not work. So I feel like you're going to have to be alert and ready for communication and like waiting for work to come in, but not always really engaged. You might find you're really bored. And I feel like someone's going to want to go for cigarette breaks all the time, or like just keep going outside and not really want to be in the office or not really want to be around people. So it's like, even if you don't work from home, you might just be not really monitored by managers and not really focused on. It might be really easy for you to just wander off, and you might regret the way you behaved at the job if you do something like that. Because they might not really want you for long. It might end up being not as long of a contract as you wanted. And for someone, I feel like you might end up feeling like you're doing it for too long. You feel sick of doing it. I'm feeling for someone, you might be just studying at home and not doing a job instead. Like you might decide you want to do something different, like studying. Or you might find that you end up doing something creative at home that you've always wanted to do, and you find you get to just stay at home and maybe customers come to you. But again, I feel like it might not last that long. You may find you have a certain amount of time where you can just do like creative projects at home, and then you don't get to do that anymore because work starts coming in more strongly and you have to leave the house again and do other things. I also feel like you may receive news of a job very quickly. This job may be just around the corner. Someone you might have already started, but it might be like you get a new job within the same job, or you get a promotion, or you get to do something new as part of your same job. Or you get new colleagues and it becomes more boring. Or something like that. I feel like you might miss your old colleagues. Someone, I feel like you might miss your old job, and maybe your old job misses you. And I feel like you might bump into someone on the street who's your old manager, and they might worry about you or something. Like someone who used to work with you. I feel like they're going to see you and worry about you and speak to you and maybe feel a bit worried that you're not doing that well and want to hire you back again. Because I feel like you might have a conversation with them and you tell them that you're really worried about money and you haven't really had a job since that job and you feel really stressed. And they might have been worried about you because they didn't know if you were okay. Maybe you didn't contact them after you left the job and they really miss you. So yeah, for someone it might be your old job and you might have to learn some new skills or processes. You might find you're really bored and you don't really like it, but also you might have missed it there secretly. And yeah, I do feel like there's something new that's coming. So it's like, even if you do end up with a job you don't like next time, I feel like it won't last for that long. It might be a job that you do for maybe a year. It might be a contract that you have, like a temporary contract. Maybe even 2 years. It could even be 5 years, but then you move on to something else. I do feel like you're going to study and you're going to develop your skills. And I do feel like someone, you might sign up for a job but also want to go and study and find yourself torn, and you might be thinking about whether you should study or work. You might be wasting time by thinking about it and find it's better just to get stuck in with something. Anyway, I want to say you're protected and you'll be guided to the right place. And I feel like there will be communication about work and studies and things like that soon, but you might need to change your own behaviour and attitude, because I feel like someone, you're wanting a bit of alone time. And it's a bit hard for you to think about maybe getting up in the morning and going out of the house and leaving the house and seeing people. You might want something that's a bit further away from where you were thinking about working. Like, I'm feeling like someone, you might find work outside of the city a bit. It may be slightly away from your house, like not as near as you wanted or something like that, and you may have to consider whether it's worth it for you. And I feel like it's not worth sitting around thinking about it too long. You might have to say yes very quickly. And I also feel like you might get asked to do things very quickly. And for someone, you might have to walk around a lot as part of your job. You might have to travel and go to where you're asked to go. Like for someone, you might be someone's secretary or PA or something like that, someone's assistant. And they ask you to go and do this thing here, or ask you to travel with them, or just ask you to stay home randomly one day and you don't really want to, but you're being asked to stay home because they don't need you. Or you're being asked to randomly check their emails, even though you don't usually have access and it all goes wrong. And they're in a meeting and you can't contact them and they need the email by the end of the meeting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you'd like a personal, please get in touch. The information will be below. I'm doing a special offer on yearly forecast until the end of the year. It's going to be 10% off. That's for 2023, until the end of 2023. If you're watching when I'm recording this, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated for you, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and check out the other content on my channel if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. This reading is for you who chose the red Jasper. Let's see what cards you have. From the Sacred Spirit reading cards, you have Between Worlds, New Directions. From the astrology reading cards, you have Mercury, how you think, communicate, write, talk, and travel. From the Sacred Power reading cards, you have Illusion. From the Urban Tarot, you have Death. And the Empress. And then from the Vision Quest Tarot, you have Son of Fire and Eight of Air, Interference. I feel like there's a choice. You get like a choice of what you want to do when it comes to your next job. And I feel like there may be a need for you to end what you've been doing and just work from home and be yourself at home. Like you might be a mother, you might be getting pregnant and having a child. And you might need to change your idea about what a job is, and your job might be just working from home to take care of your child or children for a little bit, and maybe you have to accept that you're not doing the same job as you used to, but it's still a job. I want to say for someone, you might be going into maternity or something like that, or children's medical care, something to do with that is coming through, or also being a school teacher. And I feel like for someone, you might be teaching abroad, like teaching a language abroad is coming through. I'm also seeing someone who might get a job in a library, or someone might get a job just doing something from home on the computer. It's like data entry or customer service, something like that, administration, customer service, and it feels quite boring. And it feels like there's lots of customers. You might feel a bit stressed, you might feel like their energy's in your house. If you have lots of customers who are in different regions, but they're like in your house with you, there's lots of room for you to make good progress in the next job and get a promotion and climb higher than you were in your previous job. And I feel like you may be doing something a bit new. You might be doing pioneering work that creates jobs for other people. Maybe you might be starting your own business. Maybe it starts really small, but eventually it can grow big enough to employ other people. Maybe you get contractors abroad or something and you're able to give them money. I feel like there's going to be a change eventually for you. In terms of eventually, I mean kind of soon. But I also feel like for someone it might take a while because you might not have left your current job. You might not have any plans to, and it's like this reading's not necessarily that useful. It's kind of boring to talk to you, or maybe boring for you to have a reading about this. But yeah, I'm seeing you might need to take care of people. You might have to do something like looking after people. Someone might be going into being a chef or getting a new job as a chef. Or in hotels or something like that, some kind of hospitality, but it's like to do with where people live. Looking after people at home. I feel like you may have too many people watching you, like a lot of customers is coming through. Also, you may have co-workers that watch you. You may have someone who's particularly interested in you and keeps coming in to talk to you or something, like they want to come and talk to you all the time. Or they remember your face all the time. I feel like you may have to talk so much that you get sick of talking and your voice hurts by the end of the day. You may be teaching people or something in public speaking and you have to talk for an hour at a time. Maybe the people who you're talking to, especially if they're children, are really disengaged and they don't really like it. They don't want to hear it and you have to keep talking anyway, and you have to talk until your mouth's dry. You wonder how many sips of your tea or coffee or water you're allowed to take. For someone, this is not for everyone. You might have been a doctor and you're really bad at being a doctor and you keep having like harassment from people at work or something like that, or you've been charged with negligence, like medical negligence. It seems like you might be going into doing autopsies or burying people or something like that instead. It's like if you've killed a patient, you might end up being a coroner or something like that instead, like working with a dead person. It's not for everyone, it's only for one person who's definitely not needing to work as a doctor anymore. Someone I feel like you finish studying and you do need to start working as a doctor. And I'm seeing you're going to be really good at taking care of people. You might find there's more work in another country than the one you're in currently. I feel like you're going to get sick of applying, you're going to find it really annoying. And you might find being a doctor really annoying and not want to do it for that long. You might find you were deceived and actually the pay's not as good as you thought. And you find the patients really annoying even though you're really good at dealing with them. You might prefer to work with children rather than adults because it doesn't matter if they're grateful or not. It's like doesn't matter if they're rude to you or not because you think, well, they're children, of course they're rude. Maybe when it's adults you find it a bit more offensive. They can't just say thanks and please. Or be just personally courteous to you, and also they may be like a bit obsessed with you as well. When they're adults, like maybe if you're like a beautiful person, you're good looking, you may not really like being a nurse or a doctor because you might find people get obsessed and addicted to you. Want to keep coming back to you over and over again. You might prefer something, there's maybe like medical research or back office or something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated for you. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and check out the other content on my channel if you're interested. Also, if you'd like a personal reading, get in touch. There'll be a discount on the yearly forecast reading of 10% until the end of the year if you'd like a new year present for yourself. I'm recording this in 2023 December for your reference, just in case you're watching later and it's no longer active. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.